this ASMR video, I'm gonna do a haul video. Now, some of these I've gotten recently, some are I've had for a while, but I don't know that I've shown them. There might be one or two that I actually have shown, but I haven't used a lot, so I don't know if you could even call this a haul then. But most of these are new, or like one might be new, but it's part of like a series that the person has. So I'm gonna show all three, even though like maybe I've done a one card pull using it at some point. But for the most part, these are all very new. I just have 3 out at the moment, just so since I'm talking, you have something to look at. But these are some of them. This is the Oracle of 11. This is something called Fungi Town Ponder cards. And then the one in the middle is a version of Sawyer's Path, but it has a different name because it's not like it's in full color on one side but not on the other. Let's see. It's SPT 33.6 Tarot Transition. So let's see how many decks I have today. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Technically I have 12, but one I'm not gonna unwrap yet, so I'll just like show it to you, I guess. Sometimes when I get decks, if I have multiple, I'll leave one unopened so that if I'm ever feeling like, oh, I just want to experience a new deck or have something new to look at, it's there. So like on a hard day or a hard week or whatever. I've had a lot of those recently, but I've been waiting. I'm holding out on it. So anyway, you'll see it in a little bit. It's one that I think a lot of people actually already have or probably are interested in getting. It's one of the Autumn Tarot, I believe. So anyway, so let's go ahead and start. I'll go ahead and start maybe with the Oracle of 11. And if you've watched my haul videos in the past, I believe what I have done is, briefly show you like the box, the guidebook, and pull like 10 cards, like shuffle, pull 10 cards, and do a reading with one of the cards, like read from the guidebook. And then that way you just get a little taste. You can see like maybe is this a deck you might be interested in. I know for me one of the hardest things is like getting into the guidebook, because sometimes people will just be like, oh, there is the guidebook, and I'm like, no, I'm such a guidebook fiend that I'm like, I want to know. So let's start with the Oracle of 11. It's a beautiful box. The creator, Ambi Sun, has both indie and mass market decks that she has made. I'm trying to think. I know I have her, or if she has more than one, I'm not sure, but I have her mass market, and then one of the indie ones too. It's like with flowers. So this is the box. It's very beautiful on the inside and the outside. So it's a very beautiful box, really nice. It comes with a small guidebook, but you can also purchase a larger book. Now what the larger book does is it takes the myths and folk tales that she has in this deck. So here's the back. That she has in this deck, and gives you the longer story. So for example, I'll show you actually once I pull one to read. I'll read both from the small guidebook and the large guidebook. And for those of you who love edging, it's got beautiful kind of gold iridescent. Looks gold from one angle and iridescent from another. Maybe that's just how the gold ones look, I'm not sure. But let me go ahead and pull. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So while I shuffled and cut the deck, I also ended up just pulling from random places. I don't know why I do that. I just do. Alright, so let's see what we have. We have Downfall of the Danig. And it says Transformation, Undoing, and Succumb. And let's see, since I have cards right now and not boxes, I can zoom in a little bit. And I apologize if I mispronounce, which is apparently I do a lot. Puteri Walanong Sari, Authenticity, Mystery, and Connection. Then we have The Sacrifice, Love, Sacrifice, and Justice. And so these are all based off of different folktales from different areas in Asia, and she has it broken down by what country or what area too, so you'll see here in a second. This one is Lubin and Duang Lei. Not sure if I'm pronouncing right. Friendship, Growth, and Truth. Then we have, let's see, we have Bujang Sinang, Rage, Haunting, and Retribution. We have, let's see, Marcella's Tasks, Cleverness, Ingenuity, and Defiance. And I'd love to do whole videos on some of these, but I had so many decks, I was like, I just have to do a haul. So if you see a deck that I'm showing here and you actually want to see a longer video that's just focused on that deck, let me know and I can make a video of that. So let's see. The Indecisive Blacksmith, Yearning, Dissatisfaction, and Remorse. And I'm holding it up like that because I guess I'm getting older. My eyes are as good. Caution of the Red Hill, Creativity, Resentment, and Warning. It's a lot like the Three of Swords, looks like. And then we have the Kalon Arang, Senseless, Backlash, Betrayal. And then here we have Kindness is Fortune, Altruism, Reciprocation, and Consideration. It's a cute card. And so that's 10 cards. So put that to the side with the back. And then I'll read for this one. So I'm first going to do a reading from the small booklet, and then I'll do a longer reading. And I may end up, if this goes long, I may have to break this video into 2, because I can already tell that it might take a while. So let me find this in the book. They're broken up by country, and so it's not necessarily in alphabetical order. So let's see. Kindness is Fortune. There we go. It's from Myanmar. Says, despite having only a single bag of rice, a kind man selflessly gave it up to save the lives of a cat and dog. In return, these animals became his loyal companions and bestowed upon him a magical ruby. The man's selfless act sparked a chain of events that ultimately brought him fortune and prosperity. It beautifully illustrates the cyclical nature of selfless acts, gratitude, and the bonds we form with others. This card urges you to extend a helping hand to others whenever possible, without the expectation of rewards or recognition. When we embrace the spirit of giving, even small acts of kindness can ripple outward, fostering meaningful connections and inviting unforeseen blessings. It is always better to be a source of support and compassion in the world instead of turning our backs on others. That is more true now than it not ever been, because humanity's been around for a long time, but depending on where you live, you know how important, you know what I'm referring to or implying. All right, so let's read the longer story in the booklet. The big book. And we will learn some cool tales. I always like hearing folk tales from places I might not be familiar with. And it's amazing how many folk tales from around the world, mimic each other. And then how ones that are new are how different. Okay, so this is again from, and I'm sorry that I don't always know how to pronounce it, Myanmar. Kindness is fortune. Lazy Bones was the son of a hard-working widow who sold sweetmeats in the village to keep them both fed. One day, as he sat outside his home, doing nothing as was his habit, he saw a man leading a struggling cat and dog, both bound by heavy ropes. Curious, Lazy Bones asked what the man was doing. The man replied that the cat and dog had slipped into the royal kitchen and eaten the king's breakfast. Thus they were to be drowned in the river. Lazy Bones was lazy, but he had a kind heart. He called out the cruelty of drowning these animals and instead offered to buy the cat and dog, promising that they would never disturb the royal kitchen ever again. The only problem was that Lazy Bones didn't have any money. He quickly asked the man to wait outside as he rummaged through the house. All he could find was a basket of rice, which he then offered to the man for the dog and cat. The man accepted. Unfortunately for Lazy Bones, it was the only food in the house. When his mother found out, she merely smiled, but he could see that he had deeply hurt her. In penance, he promised to find work the next morning. The cat and dog, knowing that they owed their lives to Lazy Bones, had heard everything and hatched a plan to save him from the hard work that they knew their new master was not capable of. The cat suggested that they travel to a palace hidden in the middle of the sea and steal from there a wishing ruby. Only the cat could not swim, and they had no boat. The dog assured the cat that it'd be able to carry the cat on its back as it swam. They traveled thusly to the bottom steps of a luminous golden palace surrounded only by ocean. The determined cat and dog snuck into the palace and found themselves in a room where a prince slept. The cat asked the dog to stay outside and keep a lookout while the cat searched for the magical ruby. A few moments later, the cat spotted a mouse and caught it. The terrified mouse pleaded for its life, so the cat cleverly struck a bargain, the mouse's life in exchange for a magical ruby. The mouse knew where such a ruby was. The cat watched the mouse scurry up onto the prince's bed and use its tail to tickle his nose. In his sleep, the prince sneezed loudly, spitting the ruby out of his mouth. The cat, astonished at what transpired, swiftly and silently caught the precious gem, thanked the mouse, and escaped with the dog. The dog and cat returned in the morning, just in time to present Lazy Bones with the wishing ruby. Lazy Bones then had an idea. He told his mother that he was going to marry the princess. His mother laughed, but she humored him anyway by asking how. He told her to trust him and requested that she go to the palace and ask the king for the princess's hand. The mother refused such an unrealistic task until he revealed that he had a wishing ruby and everything would be fine. The mother arrived at the palace and, bowing before the king, requested for her son to be wedded to his daughter. The king was aghast by the gall of this simple villager and declared that if Lazy Bones would build a bridge of gold and another of silver from their house to the palace by sunrise, he may marry the princess. But if they should fail, both Lazy Bones and his mother would be buried alive for their arrogance. Jesus. Lazy Bones assured his mother that the task would be done and not to worry. That night, in the moonlight, he rubbed the ruby and wished for both bridges to be built. When the sun rose to a new morning, the king looked out the window and saw the bridges of gold and silver sparkling in the dawn light, and was delighted to wed his daughter to the man who could accomplish such a feat. From then on, Lazybones and his mother lived a grand life as royalty in a golden house, his ever faithful cat and dog at his side to help him face any challenge. So as you can see from this reading, the book is like a longer version of the fairy tale, but is also very much just focused on the tale. So if you're interested in like folk tales and fairy tales, I'd recommend getting the big book in addition to the deck. But if you really are just looking for looking for the oracle, the little book seems like it's just fine. So that is the Oracle of 11. And let me see what deck to do next. A couple of them, like I said, are in a series. I know, I'll go ahead and do, there's a few that I'm going to do together. So the next one I'm going to do is this Fungi Town Ponder cards. So I'm very lucky in that I have some family who I live in Australia now, and then another family member who went to visit. That's actually how I got the Oracle of 11, because the shipping to the US was going to be like insane, but it was like free to Australia. So while my other family member was visiting, I asked, can I have it delivered to y'all? So anyway, I'm not sure if that's illegal, import or not. But anyway, the other thing I was looking for when I was like, okay, are there decks that would be cool? Either ones that I've been interested in, like that one I'd had my eye on for a long time, or ones that I didn't know existed. I went and looked and saw like what other decks coming out of Australia or similar, or like East Asia and things like that, where their shipping to Australia would be cheaper than here. And one of them was this Fungi Town Ponder cards, and I found that on Etsy. And so there's like a little thing about, it says, born in wonder and beauty, the folk of Fungi Town emerged to prompt reflection on the inner connectedness of life. Talks about some other things, and then it says, created and illustrated by Gracie Skla Adamson using pen and inks, all featuring fungi species that are local to southern Australia. And it comes in this cute little, like, it's got a little band with a button on it. And then it's just a cute little box, like a cute little handmade box. And again, like for something that's just like, I think it's just kind of handmade, it's actually really nice and seems pretty sturdy. There's not a guidebook per se, but there's this, she got information leaflet, and it's divided into different themes. And it says, welcome to the wisdom of Fungi Town. In this imaginary world, the fungi folk coexist harmoniously with all the fungi species that they live amongst. They're full of love. They see fungi as their kin and provider of all their needs. It talks about some different other things, and then it says, the deck draws on the 5 central themes that are core values for the fungi folk. Each theme is explored with artwork, inspiring quotation, and fungisms, unique fungi folk messages to you. Use the themes to prompt self-reflection as you ponder how they pertain to your life at this moment in time. Consider how they might enrich and inform your purpose in this world. And so it talks about the colors, the themes, and then there's something for each of the cards. So let's see. Let's take this out. And so one side of the card has the image, and on the other is a quotation. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm just gonna go ahead and show all. There's only 2 show all of these, just because like this was a deck I'd never seen or heard of. I don't know how many are out there, so that way if you're interested, you can actually see. So there's the first little card about it. And then it And I'll just show you the art side, and then I'll read from one of them. You can see the little people, the little fungi folk. And as someone who likes to look for mushrooms, I don't eat them, but I like taking pictures of them. This was a really neat deck. I thought this was a cool deck that I would like to own. I think that might be a dapper line of some sort. I also liked that, like, even though I don't live in Australia, it's, you know, now that I have family there, I feel sort of somewhat of an attachment. So it's neat to have a fungi deck, particularly looking at fungi in Australia, and I just thought the artwork was really cute as well. Oh. And I know some fungi, it's like they're in Australia, but they're also other places. But yeah, I just thought it was neat. That one I think is really cool. Like, she's going to hike, but look at the size of that. That one's kind of spooky. You can see too how some of them overlap or have the same types of fungi. So let's see what it says for that one. Let's see. That one is a picture of Anthracophilum archery, and the quote on the back is, "Invent your world. Surround yourself with people, color, sounds, and work that nourish you." And it is part of the theme in this deck of visualization. And for those, it says, for the visualization ones, it says there's a myriad of species of fungi in the world. Some nourish, some decompose, and some enable us to see beyond our conscious mind. The fungi folk know that all have a place, all have their own needs, functions, and destiny. They celebrate their own and each other's diversity by fostering the creativity that is innate within each organism. Through this expression, they enable uniqueness to enrich and inform their world. In the fungism, understand that you are a unique, wonderful creation right here, right now, and your ideas are unique to you. You may be exactly what the world needs right now. Be yourself and envision the best of yourself. So it's kind of a little quirky little deck, but I'm glad I went ahead and got it. It seems like an opportunity, you know, that might not come around. I'm not sure what the shipping is directly to the US, since, you know, like I said, I had it delivered to family there, and then another family member brought it back. So that is the Fungi Town Ponder cards. And let's see what's next. Let's stick with the Australia theme for a moment. Wild Wisdom Australia. This I got from, is it Lillian? They had sent me like a 20% off on a different order I had, I think. And so this was one of the decks they had. Well, that can't be right. I don't remember how I ended up with this one. But anyway, so this is the front of the box. It's a mass market deck, so it's not crazy expensive or anything. The back's really pretty, and it's got a nice guidebook. Like I said, and I don't know if I'll ever get to go back, but I did get to visit my family there once, and so I don't know. I think, like, that was, yeah, it's just neat to see animals from another place in the world that's, you know, unique. And so So I'm going to go ahead and pull 10 from here. Possum. It says, is it the trickster? Yeah, the trickster. Their possums are cuter than our possums. Okay, this guy's crazy. So this is the cassowary. Individuality. I saw one of them in a zoo. And if you didn't believe birds are descended from dinosaurs, go look at a cassowary and be frightened. This is butterfly. Grace. It's 3. Let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah, I'll just point some out real quick so I don't lose track. This is the kingfisher. It says dive deep. The platypus, elusiveness. Which, by the way, if you look up facts on the platypus, like we all know, like the duckbill and the eggs, they are some weird ass creatures. Like, they glow under like UV light and stuff. Like, there's all kinds of weird stuff. I recommend checking them out. Sugar glider. It says flow of life. The redback spider is, I think it says survival. I wonder if they're related to our black widows. Green tree frog, express your truth. The little penguin, self-mastery. I have a niece who loves penguins. They're like her favorite. And I'm excited because I've actually seen this bird, the kookaburra, laughter. We went to a national park near where your family lives and saw actually 2 of them. So that was a real crazy treat. So let's look up kookaburra in the book, and I'll read from that for you so you get a sense of what this deck is like. Healing, self and others, transformation, beauty, positivity, and teamwork. You can never mistake a kookaburra's laugh. It is an iconic Australian sound, especially at dusk and dawn. When kookaburra flies in, its big, bold energy asks you to pay attention to the world around you. A healing is taking place, and there are messages to be heard. Let kookaburra help you discover your inner beauty, truth, and courage to stand up for what you believe. Reflect and recognize old patterns and turn them into inner strengths. It's time to have some fun socializing, so let your beauty and positivity shine. Laughter is the best medicine, and kookaburra certainly knows how to entertain. Laughter is good for the soul, so have a chuckle at least once a day. It's your task to find or create a reason to laugh out loud. I know social media can be really bad, but Instagram does that for me. Kookaburra is very family orientated, is what it says. They form strong bonds with their offspring and mate for life. How are your family relationships? Now is the time to offer your support. Call on kookaburra energy to add more fun to your life when you need the motivation to socialize, to recognize outdated or limiting patterns, the courage to dive in. Advice says release patterns that no longer serve you. Chakra, sacral chakra, and solar plexus chakra. Colors, orange and yellow. And mantra, I am worthy of creating a passionate and purposeful life. And so I think it has that for each of the cards, like keywords, then longer reading, then calling on the energy, advice, chakras, color, and mantra. So that is the Wild Wisdom Australia Oracle. So let me put that away off to the side. And I might be able to get all these in because some of the ones I have, like I said, are sort of series of decks. And there's actually one that I'm going to show, but I'm going to even pull multiple cards because I know that, like, there's lots of videos on it, which I guess I might as well just, we'll shoot. Okay. Let's see. The next one I'm going to do is that Sawyer's 3 336 deck, Tarot Transitions. So this deck, Sawyer's Path, was sold out. So they're full color cards. But she did still have this, which is one side is the full color and the other is like the sketch. So it's a tarot deck, and from the book it says, let's see, it shows the path you're currently traveling and indicators of what may come. The cards are merely a map. There are many ways to get through point A to B. Aid your intuition as you let the cards speak to you. And some other bits and pieces. And then each card has its own writing. So I'll go ahead and just pull out some more cards. The one thing I'd say about this deck is I really like her art, but there was something, like, I thought they were cool when I ordered them, the sort of division, but when I started pulling, there was something about the break between those that's almost like painful for me to like look at, not in terms of like, oh, this is bad art, but like the just the like the transition feels so stark. So let's go ahead and read for one. So this must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of Pentacles. So let's see. And she has spreads, like her own spreads, which I always think is neat. One of these days I'll get around to doing some videos of like spreads. I'd like at some point to do some videos that are just using like a particular spread from someone's particular deck, just because I think that'd be neat. So it says, the humble farmer stands at the ready. His crops have been well tended, lovingly nurtured through the season with due diligence. It's time for the harvest. Where in your life do you need to take stock? Are there old habits in the way of your spiritual growth, your physical well-being? What may you do away with that will not serve you in the coming season? Now is the time to set your sights on attainable goals. Keep them manageable, lest they get away from you like weeds. Reversed. Did you plant the seeds and set out new goals for the year, but forget to revisit them periodically? Are you feeling overwhelmed because you've allowed them to become overrun with inattentiveness? It's never too late to start anew. Just remember to keep your tools close at hand. That is good advice for me. So that's the, I don't really know what to call it, I guess sort of Sawyer's Path Transitions. I'll look it up. I'll put the link in the description. I think she still has these available. I'm not sure. I'm not positive. I've used some of her decks in one card pulls, so I guess technically I should be showing them in this haul, but this haul is already so, this video is already going to be so long that I'm probably not going to do that. So the next ones are a set of 3 decks. I had received some before and just finally received the last one recently. So these are the 3 books. It's the Spirits of the Hedgerow, the Spirits of the Woodland, and the Shadows of the Hedgerow. Now, Spirits of the Woodland is a tarot deck, and then Spirits and Shadow of the Hedgerow are both oracle decks. So let's see. So Shadows of the Hedgerow comes in this little box. Spirit of the Woodland Tarot comes in this box. And then the other one did not come in a, well, where did I put it? I just had it. It third one, that's weird. The third one, okay, the third one's magically disappeared. Okay, here it is. Such a weirdo. The third one, the spirits of a hedgerow. I don't know if she does it differently now, but at the time, just came in a white box. This is the most recent deck, the shadows, so maybe at the time she didn't have the funds, I'm not sure. So these are all by Nicole Stone, and it was a little bit frustrating to me because I pre-ordered these. Wait, I ordered and pre-ordered last fall, and like got some of them, but not others. And like this one finally came out, and I know on her Kickstarter pages, some people get frustrated. Not, I don't know what to think. I think she's, as far as I can tell, she's an independent artist who's really good at her art, and maybe struggles sometimes with the business side. But it seems like she ultimately, you know, it may take a very long time, but like I did ultimately receive all the decks, so just want to give them a little showcase. So this is the Spirits of the Hedgerow back, and that was that one that just came in the box. Now the Shadows of the Hedgerow actually came with a little book, and here's their backs. And then the Spirits of the Woodland. Also came with the booklet. And then here's the back of it. Sorry. Here's the back of it. So I'll have these really pretty backs. Rather than, since again, like I've already spent a lot of time on here, let me know if you want longer videos with these. But what I think I'll do is just turn over one for each, and then maybe read for only one of them. So this is Wild Strawberry, and she comes out of, I believe, England. So just for this, so this is the Shadow of the Hedgerow, Lily of the Valley, and I really love her artwork. It's very beautiful. And then here is the Moon from the Tarot. So, and I like that she has these hardcover books. Let's see. I think I'll read from the Shadows of the Hedgerow since that's the most recent one. I haven't looked to see if there's like a bunch of videos or anything, and so I figure it's probably useful to let's see. It's probably maybe the most useful for people to do reading from the newer one, since that is, you may not be familiar with that one, or there may not be a lot of, let's see, page 13. Okay. It says Comparison, Lily of the Valley. Comparison is a waste of energy, and this is from the big guy book, not the small one. Your success, your light, your happy will make someone else feel like crap. It's human nature to feel jealous and look at someone who seemingly has it all and want to hate them, be them, copy them. Comparison is such a toxic use of our brains as we twist ourselves about our heads, wondering why we can't achieve or have what they do. But you're only seeing a glimpse of this human. We do not know each other's stories, how we have traveled to this point in time. Perhaps instead of envying that person for their success or beauty, maybe we can admire them, congratulate them, and feel happy for them. Learn what it is in them we wish to capture in our own lives. Apply this thought and feeling and better our own authentic selves. With its dainty bell-shaped flowers and intoxicating sweet fragrance, Lily of the Valley exudes an aura of innocence and purity, often featured in bridal bouquets and celebrated as a symbol of spring. It seems an unlikely candidate for a poisonous plant. Yet beneath its charming facade lies a sinister secret. While lilies in general carry symbolic weight, often representing innocence and purity, Lily of the Valley's associations delve into more complex territories. Its presence in graveyards and funeral arrangements highlights the transient nature of life and the inevitable embrace of death. But beyond the symbolic lies the stark reality. Lily of the Valley is poisonous. The entire plant, from its roots to its berries, contains cardiac glycosides. Ingestion can lead to nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, dizziness, and even a slowed or regular heartbeat. In severe cases, it can be fatal. The deceptive allure of the lily of the valley lies in its sweet scent and appealing appearance. So again, if you want to see these decks, all three of them or one in particular, in more detail, let me know, and I can do a video because there's a lot between the books and the small booklet and things like that, and we just don't have time in this video to go into all of them. So let me put them back, and we'll go into the next set. And again, I'll probably do something similar since we don't have like a lot of time unless I want this video to be like 400 hours long, and I don't. So let's see. The next three, one of which I have not opened because I'm holding out, is the Walking Meditation Tarot, the Winter Season Tarot, and the Autumn Season Tarot. Now, this is the one obviously I have not opened. And like I said, I'm just sort of saving it for a rainy day, so to speak. And so we'll just put these two out. And I think I've seen more on this one than I have on this one, but let me just show you. Kind of like with that other one, I'll just kind of pull out the backs. It's a pretty box. It smells good too. It comes with a nice booklet. This is what the backs look like, and then we have cards. Let me open this one before I put them side by side. Sorry. So many decks, so little time. So I got this Walking Meditation one. Her boxes are so pretty because I like to walk in the woods as well. And she has a little thing about walking in there. And then she has two booklets. So one is a Walking Meditation pocketbook, and that has information on like how she does different walks and recommendations for different walks. And then the other one, the Walking Meditation Tarot, the booklet has the tarot meetings. So like, let me show you I really like the backs of these. Look at that. Isn't that neat? And so I'll show you a few of those. So there's Judgment, and the sides are blue. The World, the Sun, the Magician, the Fool, and I'm just going to pull like another sort of, it's not really random since I'm looking at them, but I'm trying to see if like, here's the Four of Cups, and let's see, Temperance, and Death. So I'm actually going to read this one because I haven't seen this deck as much as I've seen videos on the winter and autumn tarot. So if we read directly from the the tarot part of it, we have, in my opinion, there's no prettier death than autumn in Canada. Maple leaves and trees have the most beautiful death. Where I live in Ontario, this death scene starts in late September and ends in mid to end of October. It's my favorite time of year. I cannot get enough of the gorgeous colors that my reality experiences. Vibrant yellows, reds, and oranges. As the leaves fall, the trees grow bare, and the ground starts to smell like fertilizer and compost. Death, transition, and hibernation begins. Upright, a new day is upon you, leaving the old behind and transitioning into the new. There's nothing to fear. Use this ending as a navigation piece towards your future. Let go of any unhealthy attachments. Start fresh. Transformation is happening in your life. Welcome it. Everything that no longer serves you is falling away. Life is happening for you, not at you. Pain and fear is an illusion. Let go of the need to control and to hang on to the past. A fresh new start is awaiting you. The longer that you stay in a negative mindset, the harder it will be to move ahead. Let go and move into the unknown. Your guides are with you on this journey and would never take you anywhere that was not good for your soul. Accept what is happening. When one door closes, another opens. Embrace this new way of life. And then it says reversed. Do not resist the change that is inevitable. Walk forward with courage and deep inner strength into the greater dimensions you go, letting go of everything that is heavy. Do not travel backwards. Change can be more difficult, especially when you have to step out of your comfort zone and start new. It is in the new that you will find more life and more tools for your toolbox. Resisting change will only create more of what no longer serves you. If you do not deal with what you need to deal with now, this can alter and damage a future path moving forward. Deal with it now. Do not bring it with you. Cleanse your space, lighten your energy, body, and clear your chakras. Align with your higher self. And then in the guidebook to walking meditation, there isn't, it's not like particular cards that go with it. It's particular walks. And so those you just have to like look through. And again, this one might be a deck that I'll do a longer one on. I don't know, just because it's a little more complex. It's not just reading it like tarot reading. So that's the walking meditation. Yeah, this particular video is a little chaotic, so I apologize. Like I've lost track of my decks. Like, okay, this is the winter. And that one, for those of you who haven't seen the winter, like, I'll show you a couple of those. So there's the back. And then it's like the Seven of Wands, the Star, the Tower, and the Demon, and Seven of Cups. This has a nice winter feel. Alright, so and I can't show you the autumn one because, like I said, I'm not opening it yet. And that's on purpose. So let me put this one away. Oh, there's my deck. I want to keep a few out since at the end I'd like to like lay cards out next to each other. This is kind of insane. Like I said, it's very kind of chaotic for an ASMR video. So the next, or the last two that I have here are the Unicorn's Journey and the Lubanko Tarot. I'm going to show at least the Lubanko. I guess I'll probably show them both because that was one I really had my eyes on when it was the indie version, and I don't remember if I just couldn't afford it or if it was sold out, but the mass market version comes with this chunky guidebook. It comes with a card stand, which is very nice to have, and then here are the edges, and here are the backs. So I don't have, like, there's probably videos out there that compare the indie and the mass market, but this is not one of them. So here's the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and I'm just pulling some different ones. The Four of Wands, and like in the other videos, I will then do a reading for not at least for one of these. The Queen of Cups. I'm trying to be careful because I think some of these may have more explicit Six of Pentacles images, and I know YouTube's not a fan. Five of Pentacles. Let's read that one. See what we've got. So Five of Pentacles, and the guidebook, it's nice color, and it's funny that I give people a hard time about the gilded edges, and I'm like, look at this super cool guide. Everybody's got the things they like, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right, Five of Pentacles. Rain falls forcefully in fearsome sheets of storm, battering two figures trying to brave the tempest. Golden light shines from a stone building they pass, but there is no door to welcome them inside. Divinatory meanings: being on the outside looking in, financial ruin and the isolation that results, the bitter cold of being left behind, the mockery of inaccessible warmth, one foot in front of the other, but the light feels unreachable, and then reversed, being let in from the cold, a light in the darkness, hope despite struggle. So that's just like a super quick, like, showing of the Lubanko Tarot, the indie version. And then we're gonna do a super quick unicorn's journey, and then we're done. Like I said, I know this has been a little chaotic. So here we've got the Unicorn's Journey Tarot. I didn't back it when it was out, and I've been on the fence for a long time. But here's the box. Very pretty. I'm trying to think. I think it was actually the quote that's in the front of the box that finally grabbed me, which was, "To ever lie on your back and gaze at the sky, wishing you were something other than you are." And I was thinking, yeah. So I was like, okay, maybe this sticks for me. It comes with a seriously chunky guidebook. Thank you, Lisa. And she has her own YouTube channel, lots of videos out there. There's an Oracle companion Oracle deck coming out. This one, it's got these pink edges. Here's the back of the cards, and at least the other day you could still pre-order for the Oracle, even if you didn't manage to back it. So here's a few examples. The Page of Air, the Nine of Fire, the Ace of Air. Let's find a different suit. The Five of Water. And let's see, maybe a sword or a, there we go, Devil. Some majors not there. And Death. I'm gonna read Death. So it's kind of a card for my tarot card for the year was Death. That I've been drawing like my own versions of and stuff. Okay. this is she has a long stuff in the guidebook, which is great. But it'll be the last few minutes of this, and then I'll show the backs, probably the backs or the fronts, backs or fronts, I'm not sure, of each of the decks side by side. So this is death. Carolyn piled the boxes that contained all her worldly belongings into her pickup truck as Mystic, that's the unicorn, looked on sadly. They both knew that Carolyn wouldn't stay at the farm forever, but that didn't make the goodbye any easier. They hugged each other tightly, tears in their eyes. Carolyn whispered, "I'll be back to visit soon, I promise," into Mystic's mane. With one final look back at her best friend, Carolyn drove away. As the truck disappeared over the horizon, a butterfly whispered to Mystic, "This is not the end." In the RWS Death, the figure of death rides a white horse, black flag in hand, while those in death's path beg for mercy. In my version, Carolyn moving away signifies a different kind of ending. The butterfly is a symbol of transformation, as is the rainbow tattoo on Carolyn's left shoulder. The white rose on Carolyn's black messenger bag is a nod to the flag carried by death on the RWS, and the rising sun symbolizes the new beginning that follows every ending. Neither Mystic nor Carolyn can see it yet, but their journeys are more alike than different. The death card represents an inevitable end. Upright, transformation, ending, letting go, release, acceptance. Endings are never easy, but there is at least some part of you that understands that this one has come when it is meant to. Your ability to accept and allow this ending will help you grow. Allow yourself to process this end and keep your gaze on the rising sun. Reversed, refusing to let go, regret, fear of loss, denial, avoidance. No matter how hard you fight, the end is still here. Or holding on to what is already gone, and resisting this ending only prolongs the difficulty. To get back on track, practice acceptance so that you can move forward. You can move through any grief you might need to experience in order to turn the page on this chapter of your life. Self-worth message. Letting go, even when we know it's time, hurts. But holding on when it's time to let go hurts us even more in the long run. Give yourself the gift of accepting that this has ended so that you can make a new beginning. So that's the Unicorn's Journey Tarot. And I think that's it, other than that Autumn Season Tarot, which I haven't opened. And also, like, some of the decks I've already pulled from recently, like the Out of Hand Pocket Edition and the Nature Portals, which are the other Sawyer ones. So yeah, okay. So that's it. So let me go ahead and let me take a second. Let me put them all down so that you can see them nicely together. And again, because this video is so chaotic, let me know if there are if any of these stacks or a collection of them, if there's like for example the Nicole Stone ones, like the Shadow of the Hedgerow, Spirits of the Hedgerow. If you want to see any of these stacks in more detail, or collection of decks in more detail, so I'm just putting the different backs out here. Hopefully I can get them all into their right decks again after. Let's see. Things may have to get ugly here for a second so that I can fit them all. Let's see if I can take the light off of it, if that's better. It's a little better. Kind of, it's too dark now, but okay, that's probably best. Then we have the Walking Meditations. We have the Winter Season. We have the Shadows of the Hedgerow Oracle. And, oh, nope, already had that one. the Sawyer transition deck. Let's put these more like this. And I'll still have 3 more decks to put out here. All right. Yeah, this was a big haul. Okay. This is from the Oracle of 11. And then we have the fungi card, the ponder cards, and the Wild Wisdom Australia, which is huge and it's probably not going to fit. Yeah, it really doesn't. So, like, I've run out of space. I don't know where else to put it. I'll just sort of shine it here. So I guess I'm probably going to put this as the front picture on the video. And this one's so much bigger. These cards are so much bigger. I guess I'll just have to leave it out. But here are the backs of most of the ones I showed. And I hope you got some else today. You might need to jump around a little just since it's so rambly. And like I've said now for a million times, if you want to see any of these decks in more depth, let me know. And I'd be happy to make a video of that. Thanks for coming today, and I hope to see you soon.